How many of you have seen the movie Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara? Oh wow, nice. So one of the main protagonists of the movie, a jingle writer by the day, but a poet from the heart, a poet by passion. He recites, "दिलों में तुम अपनी बेताबियां लेके चल रहे हो तो जिंदा हो." If you are carrying restlessness in your mind, you are alive. A simple corollary, because we are all engineers, right? So like everything has a corollary. If you are not alive, you rest in peace. Javed Akhtar, the poet behind these lines, has made our life easier, at least for this forum, by equating restlessness with life. And what is restlessness, if not chaos? Random movement, helter-skelter, without any rhythm, without any reason. The first encounter with any crowded place, whether it is the Bombay VT railway station or the Howrah railway station, I'm sure you would have seen some of these stations, right? Or say Kumbh Mela. The first instinctive, spontaneous reaction is what a chaos. So we always look for the word chaos when we see people, objects, cars moving in one direction. And whenever the movement ceases, say in the middle of the night when the city falls asleep, when everything quietens up, we say the city is dead. So, I think that's the genesis of the expression in the dead of the night. Not only the poets and the philosophers, even the scientists also accept the same thing, that restlessness and chaos is life and stillness in death. For example, Nikola Tesla in 1892, when he went to London's Royal Institution, James Dewar, the inventor of vacuum flask, showed him gases cooled to very low temperature, almost absolute zero. And at that extremely low temperatures, the molecular movements of the gaseous particles had almost come to a standstill. Tesla was surprised, and he exactly uttered these words: "Matter at rest is matter dead." So now we know what chaos looks like, but we know what chaos sounds like. Intuitively connecting wonderful music with chaos, it's not possible, right? But wonderful music can also be chaos. I will explain that. So I think the instinctive reaction to this is what a chaos, right? So it's nothing, both the songs played together and it sounded like a noise. So my friends, that's what chaos sounds like a noise. But the interesting part is that even in the noise, my two original wonderful songs exist in their original, truest and real form. So finding out the songs from the noise in some way is the main purpose of our life. So pursuit of chaos is nothing but the pursuit of the songs which are hidden and which should be discovered. Sant Kabir explained it in an amazing way. He said in one of the famous dohas, "Hira para bajar mein raha chhar laptaye, hira para bajar mein chhar laptaye, keti hi murak pache moe, koi parkhi liya uthaye." So the diamond is lying in the marketplace, hidden under the dirt. So many fools passed it by until a wise came and took it up. So my friends, the dirt that covers diamond is the chaos. It is the din that muffles my music. It is the ignorance which cloaks my wisdom. Now the question is, why should we be bothered about chaos? Now we have this, high quality noise cancellation headphones, right? You can put on the headphone, forget about the noise. Why should we become wise? Why should we even put some effort to find the truth or the songs from the noise or the diamond from the dirt? So the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. Again, I couldn't plagiarize this song from Bob Dylan because the answer is actually blowing in the wind. Deriving from a very unique and a very interesting verse from the Atharva Veda, Tagore pointed out that plants and animals exist only for self-preservation. Everything about the plants and animals is only about their survival. However, humans possess something little more, which in the Atharva Veda is known as Uchishta Bala, the strength of the superfluous, the power beyond just living, beyond survival, and which is meant not for just preservation but for self-expression. So what is this strength of superfluous? It is the power of the imagination, creativity, innovation. When rest of the species, they just survive, it is only the humans who can transform the imaginations into words, stories, visions for the future. Yuval Hariri, one of the youngest and also one of the most famous historians from Israel, in his seminal book *Sapiens*, points out it is entirely through imagined stories that the humans have come to monopolize and dominate the world. And how? By uniting, strangers, total strangers, by imagined shared myths like God, religion, nation, money, business, and by cooperating in a scale which no other species have done. So now I will give a small example of this power of imagination, or this Uchishta Bala. So in Sanskrit, there are two words. One is daksha, which means skillful or wise, and dangshan, which means to bite or biting. Both come from the same root, which is very weird, right? Like wise, skillful, and biting. How are they related? Sri Aurobindo gives the answer. It is the human imagination that transforms the gross, chaotic, physical action of biting, separating the flesh from the bone, into the power of discrimination, separating the good from the bad, good from the evil. So that is the power of imagination which uncovers the wisdom from the chaos, identifies the music from the noise. Einstein never had to solve thousands of equations to realize the truth about relativity. Neither Newton did use infinite or limitless calculus to discover the laws of gravitation or the laws of motion. Neither did the Buddha or Gandhi explore the deepest recesses of human mind to figure out that non-violence is a way of life. Amidst the infinite number of things that happen around us, the din, the bustle, the hustle, the chaos and noise, the truth reveals itself only to the likes of Newton, Einstein, Gandhi, and Buddha. And out of the infinite permutations and combinations of notes and words, only the perfect and the most perfect ones, they reveal themselves to the likes of Mozart and Tagore, who finally composed wonderful music and wonderful poems from the same notes and words which are available to us. Now the question is, why only to them? Why not to me? And might be why not to some of you? Because these are the people who apply their innovation and creativity. And why do they do? Because that's what humans have been evolved for. That's what differentiates between the humans and the animals. And not doing that, to ignore imagination, to shut off creativity, to refuse the effort in finding the noise, to finding the truth in the noise, in the chaos, is to stop being human, is to become animal-like. And the repercussions are catastrophic. Just, imagine if Gandhi had put on the noise cancellation headphone in his ears and shut himself off from the chaos around, while millions of people around him are struggling to lead a life of dignity. Imagine if Swami Vivekananda, after traveling across the length and breadth of the country and witnessing in his own eyes the suffering of millions of his countrymen, shattered by centuries of cultural and civilizational abuse, what if Jamshedji Tata had been content dealing drugs and weapons when the rest of the world were moving forward, making steel mills and power plants? I have mentioned only these three names because they are representative of three main pillars of freedom: political, intellectual, economic. And the moment I mean, like say, for Gandhi, when he realized the truth about non-violence, he gave us the way towards the political freedom. Vivekananda realized the truth about India, which is broken by spirit, and he revived the self-esteem. He revived the self-confidence in our culture and civilization values. So that became a model for intellectual freedom. Jamshedji Tata realized that the Purna Swaraj, or the complete independence, complete freedom, is impossible without indigenous industries. Thus, we got a way towards economic freedom. Now, the moment all this truth emerged within their mind, they couldn't sit idle. They became selfless, fearless, and extremely focused on perfection, not the outcome. And we see the same thing in the battle of Kurukshetra also. Arjun is, perplexed, flummoxed, flabbergasted by the chaos around him. And when he turns towards Krishna, Krishna doesn't change the rule of the game. He doesn't change the battlefield. He just changes Arjun's vision. And the moment the truth emerges in front of him out of the chaos, his ego falls off, his fear dissolves, and he acts selflessly, fearlessly, seeking perfection, not the outcome. Selflessness, fearlessness, and pursuit of perfection are interrelated, and whenever this happens, we have excellence in any field, whether it's art, culture, literature, science, innovation, even in business, politics, and also warfare. So, when you are focused only about perfection, whatever happens around you, the noise, the din bustle vanishes, and very logically you become selfless and fearless. We see this thing in Gandhi's life. In 1920, when the non-cooperation movement was at its peak, he suddenly calls it off because few people went and burned a police station in Chauri Chaura, killing some 22 policemen. So as per conventional wisdom, that was a professional suicide. It could have ruined his political career. But Gandhi never sought self-glory nor outcome. Had Gandhi been outcome-oriented, he would have compromised with his ideals, ideology, and freedom attained and sustained through imperfect means always remains imperfect, as we can see in our neighbors, Nepal, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, even Indonesia, Burma, Thailand, Cambodia. So, in our pursuit of the chaos, first and the foremost thing is to apply imagination, which is what humans have been evolved for. And whenever we apply imagination, the truth emerges automatically. We don't have to seek for the truth emerges. And with the truth comes these three qualities: fearlessness, selflessness, and pursuit of perfection. And that's where we have excellence, a nation rebuilt, a innovation that changes the world, a poem that stirs millions, a song that motivates, brings a peace to the world, a life given up in love, and a war fought for righteousness. That is, my friends, the strength of the superfluous, as we have heard in Atharva Veda, Uchishta Bala, the power of imagination that differentiates us from any other species, the power that helps us to see the truth in the chaos, and the power that makes us selfless, fearless, and perfect. Namaskar. Thank you.